Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Mission Snapshot. We are thankful that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to share this time with us as we bring you stories from the mission field. Hannah is over there and she is monitoring the social media. So if you have any comments or questions, drop them below. And she will be providing information later in the show. So keep an eye out for that. Well, today is Thursday. So today is Veronica here in the studio, and we have a very special show for you. I am really excited that Veronica can share this with us. So without further ado, let's get into this because this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, I am so excited too. So this is our Merry Christmas episode.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from our evening schools.
Oh.
So I was able to connect with our director in India yesterday, along with two of our I guess they're also kind of
like
area
coordinators
for our evening schools. So the four of us were on a Zoom call together, and it was just so exciting. And I got to see some beautiful faces of the children who participate in our evening schools, and it was just wonderful. And they actually prepared some very special messages for us here in the office, and especially for our donors, for those who have been praying and giving to help support them. And so we just want to share those messages and forward their thanks and their Merry Christmas wishes to others. So that's
you
what we're
didn't
doing.
know this was happening.
I didn't know. We do frequently call and touch base with them. We want to know what's going on, and we've talked about that on the show before. So the call wasn't unexpected, but I didn't know that they were planning a special treat for us with the kids. So that was unexpected, and it was wonderful. It was a blessing to see and hear. And so because it's a Zoom call, first of all, quality's not great on the pictures I was able to get, and also they've had some really bad weather in southern India, lots of rain and cyclones coming through, so the internet itself is not that great. So I apologize in advance because the pictures you see are not going to be crystal clear HD quality. We even have a couple videos, short clips of the children with singing their special message, and it may not be very clear, but I will help explain what they're saying, and just know that they're doing it because they have genuine thanks and love in their hearts for us. So yeah, it'll still be fun.
So where are we starting?
All right, so first we're going to start in the Uttamapat area.
Okay.
And one of our evening schools there. And so it was just a blessing. So I got on the call and I was talking with the coordinator there, and he was sharing that his kids there had basically just a day to learn a song to sing for us, and that they wanted to create banners and cards and different things just to show how much they are grateful for us. And so there's a couple pictures, as clear as I could get them, of kind of their banners. So the first slide that you see here is just one of the banners they held up, and it's basically just from their evening school to us, the students wishing JFA workers a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And a Happy New Year. And in that school also, they have had, many of the parents have come in and wanted to express their thanks and gratitude to the school for many reasons. So I just want to share one of the stories that was shared with me. And so this next slide is showing one of the mothers. Her name is Divya. And she has a very special testimony. So she does have two children in the school. They're in the 3rd grade and 5th grade. And of course, she's grateful for what the school does for her family and for her children, especially during time of COVID. But her testimony in particular was just wonderful too, because before she had kids, before she knew about the evening school, she actually struggled for many years not having kids.
Oh, wow.
Her and her husband went 7 years without having kids.
Wow, that's a long time for an Indian woman to not, a married Indian woman to not have children. Yeah.
So they struggled for a long time, and during that struggle, they were not Christian, but she just, going through that, she's searching. I mean, as anyone would when you have a deep desire for something and it's not
Right.
happening, you kind of struggle with, well, what does that mean and how can I get help
Yeah.
and what's, And so through some turn of events, she ended up actually coming to the church and becoming a Christian.
Wow.
And after she learned about Christianity and started praying to God, God blessed her with children.
Oh.
And so 7 years of hoping and praying and wanting and then finally realizing who to actually pray to.
Right.
And God blessed her with her kids. And so she is blessed beyond belief and grateful for that to God. But now that her kids are older and they're in school, she is so grateful to have the evening school atmosphere for them so that they can learn more about God, so that they can have added help with schooling and with food. She's, they are daily laborers.
Yeah.
So they haven't had work. During COVID, they haven't had a way to
Right.
really keep providing for their family. And so she is very just thankful and from the bottom of her heart, just grateful for what the evening school has done for her kids.
That's so cool.
And helping them.
That's
so
beautiful. Yeah.
It was so neat to hear stories from a parent
Yeah.
and to actually see them and see how grateful they are. And our director Israel was telling us that they get parents, lots of parents wanted to be there and give testimony, but he's like, oh, we may not have time for all that, because when we're talking to them, it's early for us, but it's already their evening. It's late.
Right.
They can't keep them that long. So he's like, I don't have time for a lot of testimonies, but there were a lot of parents there who wanted to be able to talk and share their gratitude. So
that's so nice.
It was wonderful to hear that.
Right. So I just want to point out that if you are donating to our evening schools, these thanks are for you.
Yes.
Because they really pray for the donors every day in thanks for what the donors are doing for them. So you have had a part in this mom's story. So I really like that.
Yeah, this is not just for us. I mean, it warms my heart to hear all these stories every month when we connect. But this is about the people who are giving, sacrificially donating money or time praying. That means so much, and it is making an impact in their lives.
Absolutely.
And this is an example of that. So.
That's so cool.
Yes.
So you have another photo here. What is in this photo?
So this is a photo of some of the greeting cards that the kids made for the donors.
Oh.
They wanted to show their thanks, and so they made some handmade Christmas cards just to say thank you and to show their love for those who are supporting them.
And we wish we could send them to you so you could have them, but we're not able to get them from the children here to the U.S. and then to you. But I hope that you can see from the photo all the colors and the shapes and everything that the children put so much effort into saying thank you.
They did, yeah. And it's just something that they wanted to do something to show how much they appreciate and that they realize the gift that they've been given.
Right.
They realize that this isn't just their local teacher, helping them. And so they're very grateful for that.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So that was Udamal Pet, but we have more stories.
We do. Well, but in Udamal Pet, so we actually do have, I think there might be another slide from there. And then, and they actually have a short video that we'll do as well.
That's right. I forgot about the video. This will be fun.
So this is just one more of their sign, that's just saying thank you. And as a sign of respect over there, the children will call an elder auntie or uncle, kind of like how we say ma'am or sir. And so the sign says thank you, auntie and uncle. And it's just a thank you to all the donors and those who are praying for them and helping them.
Okay, so the next slide is the video.
That. So the next slide should be the video.
Okay.
And again, I apologize if you can't hear super clear, but it's basically them wishing us a Merry Christmas. So let's play the video.
காட்டுங்க பிள்ளைங்களை காட்டுங்க
So that was them. That song they learned in just a day.
Wow.
And so if you couldn't understand them clearly, but it's basically them just saying, we wish you a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and then at the end saying, thank you, Auntie and Uncle, and they just wanted to express how much they care. So that was just so sweet. Hearing it yesterday, seeing the children, I wanted to cry during the call because it was just so sweet. So that's a thank you from their school to yours.
Yeah.
And and so after talking with them, then we talked with one of our other directors who works with the E-Road schools. And so we're going to move on to his school now. So this is just a picture of their school and some of the kids there. And they have just been really blessed there as well. There's been the kids, this is one of our newer schools, so this has been up and running just shy of a year. And of course, during that time, it hasn't been a full-blown school, but the presence has been there. The teachers and the Bible workers have been there. And so they've seen a lot of impact and just changes there. And so the kids especially, what they've noticed is they've started to teach them Bible stories as part of the curriculum. We've talked about that a little bit. They learn memory verses and songs, but they're reading them Bible stories as well.
Wow.
And so some of these kids, I think the next slide might show it. So some of the boys right there in front, they have actually taken to heart the stories that they've heard, and they've begun memorizing verses more than they've been asked to, and they've even memorized the 10 Commandments so that they can just recite those things. And the impact is just so great that these kids are going home. They've learned to pray in the school, and so then they take that with them, and at home their parents are seeing them pray before they do everything. They pray before they eat. They pray before they get up to do chores. They pray at night before they go to bed. And that's a huge testimony.
It is.
Right
it
there.
Really is.
And they've just grown in discipline and in character. The parents are really concerned, especially during COVID, when they knew, okay, regular school isn't in session. What are our kids going to be doing? Are they just going to be sitting at home all day,
or wandering
the streets, running around, getting into trouble? And the evening school has given them a place to be, some structure in their life, when right now there's not much structure there. And the parents have seen that it's not just occupying their time, but it's changing their character and giving them a discipline, so they're not as rowdy at home either. They're not, they're less disrespectful, and there's just a lot of changes there. And there's some very special things that I'm going to talk about after we get to the video. There's even more special things happening there that are exciting. But just in general with the kids, it's been exciting to hear that they're taking upon themselves to memorize more than they were asked to, and sharing Bible stories with their family and friends.
That's amazing.
It's much better than going home and saying, oh, I learned that, Dr. Seuss wrote this book. No, instead they're sharing these stories about Jesus. And so it's just exciting.
Cool. So do you have a testimony from a parent or a teacher or something from this?
So I did want to talk about the teacher and the cook.
Okay.
So we were introduced to them. This slide here is the teacher, and she has just devoted her whole being into these kids. She's really, she got high praise from our coordinator there at the work that she's been doing in this particular school, in just taking time to focus not just on the whole classroom, but she focuses on individual students, those who might need extra help, extra tutoring. She spends her own time outside of that 2-hour block or 2.5-hour block that they're at the evening school. She tries to really connect with them and help them as much as she can in many different ways. And so that's been a wonderful blessing, and she's doing a great job there, and we just pray for her to continue, that God will be with her in that. And then the next slide is the cook, and She
Is smiling.
She is smiling. She was very happy to get an introduction, and she is doing a very good job of trying to not just provide food, but nutritious, healthy food.
Right.
Something that is going to help them in the long term and not just fill their tummies for a night.
Yeah.
And so she's doing the best she can to provide that. The parents and families are very grateful for her hard work, because that is a lot of hard work to cook for so many. She's probably cooking for at least 30.
Right.
And that would overwhelm me, and I have, a regular kitchen and a house, and she doesn't have that. She has a couple big pots and a fire. And so I can't imagine that, 6 nights a week thinking about, I have to cook all this food, but she does it willingly and with a happy heart, and she's grateful. And so, it's been wonderful to see how, not just, and I think I talked about this a couple episodes ago, but just hearing from the teachers and the cooks and the workers there as well, and seeing how by them ministering, their lives are changing too, and it's a blessing for them. And so that's definitely what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing.
That's very cool.
That they enjoy it.
I know that when we were in E-Road as a team earlier this year in January, the church that I went to, they actually cooked on the roof of the church. Because that was the only space that they had. And so after the evening meetings, we would all traipse up outside, up the stairs, and sit up on the roof. And they had all the food and the rice and the vegetable all up there. That's where they cooked it, and that's where they served it, was on the roof of the church.
I mean, that sounds fun to me. Like, let's go eat on the roof. But, they do what they can, any space they have.
That's right.
To make sure that they're meeting a need.
Right.
And that's the important part, and God is helping with that. It's been wonderful.
It is. So we have a video from there.
Yeah, so this will be the video of the this school here in E-Road singing their Christmas wishes.
Okay, here you go.
Very good.
So they were, it might have been even harder to hear them, but they're singing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." And it was just wonderful. And they really do mean that from the bottom of their heart, wishing all of our family and donors a Merry Christmas. So
I saw them smiling big while they were singing. So they were happy to be able to share.
They were very happy. They were excited to be able to do that. So in these schools, there's a couple more things to talk about. So one is, if you noticed all the decorations, a lot of the churches there, and I mentioned it to our director, how much I love seeing their churches, because they're just bright and beautiful and streamers. And I'm like, man, our churches should do that more.
Yeah.
But, but they've actually decorated even more, because they have two main big traditions with the evening schools, one being a VBS program in summer, which most did not participate in this year for obvious reasons, and then a Christmas program. And so they are actually going to try and put on the Christmas program this year as much as they can. And so they've decorated it up, and they've done all these special things, because they want to share what they're learning there with the entire community. And so this is a special time for all the evening schools as they prepare for that.
That's really cool. I like that.
So that they were excited about that as well. And then just to talk a little more about the E-Road schools and that area in general. So the Bible workers there, and our coordinator for the evening school, he talked about how before the evening school started, there wasn't much headway being made with our church. We were there. There was a presence. But you couldn't connect well with the community at all. They couldn't effectively share how prayer would change their lives. They couldn't talk about health. They couldn't really get into the homes and share things. And since the evening schools have started, they've not only been able to get into homes, but they actually are being pulled into the homes. Quite literally, the children will grab him and say, "Come to my house.
Oh.
Come with me to my house." And he is being pulled into their homes,
That's so
you know,
cool.
and having so many more opportunities to share about God than he could
Wow.
have ever imagined possible.
Wow.
And not just sharing, but, you know, the families are already kind of primed for it because
Yeah.
their children
Yeah.
have been discussing what they've been learning in these schools and sharing Bible stories. And so it's been wonderful. And he has actually even had baptisms come
Wow.
from direct contact because of the evening school.
Wow.
And those would never have happened if we hadn't opened these schools. I mean, it's just, it's right there in front of you, showing how our work, our, you know, the funds that we send, the prayers that we send, they are saving lives.
They are.
And so it's just amazing to see that impact is really happening over there. So
Yeah, and I want to thank those of you who donated towards these schools, because back in December of last year, 2019, January of 2020, we put a push out saying we want to open these 10 schools in E-Road, and we needed so much money to open, and you all generously gave so that they could be opened right after our evangelism meetings ended. And so you have a part in the baptisms and the change in the villages, and so we want to thank you for your partnership, and please take the children's thank yous and banners and cards as for you, because that's who they're meant for. So thank you for partnering with us on that.
Yeah, it's just so exciting to see. There's just so much going on, and I can't wait to hear more.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very thankful. So what we want to let you know as well is that this is our last Mission Snapshot for 2020.
Yes.
We are going to take a short hiatus over the holidays, and we will be back the week of January 11. Because various people will be traveling for the holidays. And so if you don't see us for a little bit, that's okay. We're not gone. We'll be back in the middle of January. And if you are interested in learning more about the evening schools or about any of the other projects of Jesus for Asia, we invite you to go to jesusforasia.org and check out the more than 60 projects that we have there. And I'm sure that you will find something that resonates with you. And I'm sure these evening schools will resonate with many of you, because the children are just so precious. And we invite you to pray for the projects that you see, because prayer is so needed, especially during these turbulent times that we're living in. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, I invite you to like our page. That way you'll get notifications, and then you'll know when we're back on again in January after the holidays, so you won't miss when we come back. So please go ahead and do that so we can stay in touch. So thank you for bringing us these fun stories and the videos and everything. It was precious, and I so appreciate it. And thank you for joining us. This has been your Mission Snapshot.